Transcendental Transformation, the place where spirituality and transformation unite. Host Miss Raina imparts truth so that you can break through your limiting beliefs and evolve into a deeper consciousness. As you go about your day, remember, before every breakthrough, there is a breakdown. And now, let's start the show.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Transcendental Transformation. I'm your host, Miss Raina, and today is Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. As always, we're coming live here in the Sirius Star System studios right here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I hope all is well with everybody. So it is March, and there has been a lot going on, especially in the news. As you guys know, everybody is talking about it. Russia is invading Ukraine. And supposedly it is all over keeping Russian-speaking areas alive. And this has been deemed as a peacekeeping move. And yeah, you know, I'm just going to lightly touch on this, only because you guys know I don't get into politics. You guys don't know this, but since everyone is talking about this, I want to shed a little light on this. So, you know, we come here, people, to learn. We come here to understand who we are. And sometimes we look at these things when we don't understand, and yes, you know, invading other countries, killing people, yes, we deem that as something as terrible or bad. But, you know, there is always a bigger purpose for this, as always. And yes, we come here to fight. We come here to learn about ourselves. We have to fight through ego. You know, people get hurt a lot of times. But this is all about a great example about control versus freedom and how the ego is. If we take a look at what is really going on, it is about our ego. It is about an idea that says that, you know, I want this and I want to be able to have this, and other people don't want this, and there's two conflicting ideas, and one is bigger than the other. And unfortunately, these kind of things happen. You know, many countries do this, many nations, many Romans, Greeks, Egyptians, you know, everybody has done this. When we get big, we think we're a little bit bigger than everybody else, and that's just the way it goes. So don't look at this as like a good or bad thing or right or wrong thing. Try to understand yourself through these ideas. Whenever something like this happens, yes, it is terrible, and those people that have to go through this and lose their life, yes, I get that 100%, but try to look at the bigger picture. Try to realize what is actually going on by points of view and egotism and controlling and all that stuff, and you look that people are trying to find themselves. As destructive as this seems, this is something that is always about finding self, and we do that through some of the most inappropriate, most hard to deal with ways, because we don't have that concept. So I just want you guys not to get too wrapped up in this. Yes, we all feel bad for anybody who loses their lives on either side over something so silly. But this is something that happens in our world. It's going to keep happening in our world, because this is our playground. This is where we come, and this is where we're here. You know, where we do our battles. But anyways, let's switch subjects, because I want to switch subject on something more fun, and that's Women's History Month starts today. And I obviously am a woman, and you know, it is a wonderful month to celebrate. And the reason why we celebrate that, we're going to get into that in just a second. But did you guys know, here's some fun facts, because you guys didn't know, I'm going to go all nerdy on you, that you know, that this was established back in February 28th of 1909 here in America, and I think a year later in 1910 it was established in Europe. And basically it was what it was. You know, hey, women were overlooked. Women were not looked as they were looked at second-class citizens, and weren't allowed to vote, weren't paid equal rights, and hey, we still have some of that today. I know I'm going through some of that with a couple places right now, and it's very challenging, because you got to put in a lot more effort just to be recognized. And so, you know, and that's what this movement was all about. And what's nice about today is that, yes, even though there's still struggle, even though we still got our work ahead, a lot of work ahead of ourselves, back in 1975, only less than 47% of people of women weren't allowed to work. I mean, they all worked. A lot of them weren't allowed to work. A lot of them were made into housewives and everything like that, and a lot of them couldn't get jobs. Today, there are 71% of moms out there that work. So kudos to all you working moms, especially if you have children, you're going to school or whatever you're doing. And you know what? Don't let anyone, if you're one of those tough women that have to fight for everything, don't let anyone push you around or tell you any differently. You keep fighting for yourself and you keep standing up for yourself, because in the end, you are going to be the one that shines, okay? So, but yes, okay, here's a question I want to ask for you guys. Here's a little trivia because, like I said, I'm a nerd. What was the first country to grant women's rights to vote? I said this last year, what it was. And I just want to know if you guys remember. So I'll give you 5 seconds. And if you guys guessed New Zealand in 1893, you get it right. Kudos to you guys. Yes, New Zealand was the first country in the world to grant women the right to vote. So that is always some fun stuff. And wow, have we changed since then. So, all right, guys, if you guys don't already know, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, D Live, everything. If I forgot one, I don't know. There were so many. And of course, the replays are always on iHeart, Spotify, the website, SoulandSpiritGuide.com, iTunes, Podboy, yeah, there's just so many. If you go on our Facebook page, you'll find them all. But I want to get into today's show because, this is, I see this all the time. People are always asking me, Miss Raina, what is I am? Like, and we hear these people say, oh, I am is powerful, and we always see all these coaches always say, hey, reclaiming your power, take your power back, whether you're a man or woman or, it's always about, everything seems to be about power, isn't it? And if we take a look for a minute, that is something that we actually have to ask ourselves, because why are we seeking power? What is it inside of us that makes us chase this idea of power, right? Power is just a word that is associated with a type of action. And an experience, but what is it that we're actually seeking? How come we find something inside of us that we're chasing? Because I know this is actually really popular with a lot of people, that a lot of us go out to many places to seek this. We go out so many times to we hire coaches, we take all these self-help things, we buy all these books. We're always trying to find this thing called power. And, and the one thing that I have noticed in our society is that we're a very disconnected society. We are very disconnected from ourselves. We chase things like championships and trophies, money, fame, looks, and that's big. I mean, you can get 75,000 people instantly to a sporting event, but can you get them into working on themselves? Can you get them into something important? Can you get them into school to educate themselves? And no, most people don't want to deal with school. Most people don't want help. Most people don't want these things. But there are some of us that do. And so we as a society have become disconnected. We've become disconnected with ourselves. And technically, if we want to be honest about it, there's no such thing as disconnection. There's no such thing as being lost. And these are just words that we fool ourselves with to make us associate kind of like not knowing what path we're going, not knowing where we're going, or just plain out being unhappy with where we're at. Okay. And this is something that we have to start taking a look at, because if we're looking for power, then that's telling us that we don't understand who we are really. Is it right? We don't understand the meaning of life, right? I mean, that's the age-old question we're asking. What is the meaning of life? What is it that we're doing here? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why do these things happen to me? Why am I not here? I want to be there, but I'm over here. And we go round and round in a circle, right? And so is it really true that we are disconnected? Is it really true? No, it's not the fact that you're disconnected from something. It's not the fact that you're powerless from something. It's the fact that you don't have an understanding of who you are. You don't have an understanding of why you're here. You don't have the capability right now of the awareness. But that is why, if you're listening to this show, I give you props, or anything, any show, and you're trying to reach out because you're you're trying to gain that awareness. Believe it or not, no matter what we do in our lives, we're always, even like and the reason why I brought up the Russian Ukraine thing is because even in that, we are trying to gain an understanding of self and bring an awareness to who we are. And a lot of people look at these things and say, "Oh my God, this is terrible. They're killing innocent people. They're this big country's invading this little country like a big old bully." And yes, if you see that in a very narrow-minded way, yes. And I don't mean that to be insulting. I just mean like if you see that in a very narrow way, then yes, because that's the awareness that we're looking for. We're looking at things as well, this is being done to, this is done to me, and that's done to them. And there's all this injustice. But there's always a purpose. There's always a bigger reason for it. Out of everything that happens, there is always a bigger reason for it. It's just that we have to take a look at it and understand what it is we're doing, why this is happening. What is it that I'm experiencing right now? And who are you through these experiences? Because if I can't answer who am I through these experiences, then I will never gain an awareness of self. I will never gain that connection that we're looking for through our life. And so these are the things that we have to do. But hey, we're going to jump right into the emotional aspect of it, right? If I'm trying to reclaim my power, but I'm afraid of these things we call emotions, and I just did the air quotes totally wrong on that. I did it beforehand. I know. I'm all off today. Today has been a crazy day for me. So, but yeah, if we're afraid to face our struggles, if we're afraid to face our emotions, if we're afraid to face the things that have hurt us, and we choose to walk away, we choose not to face it, and the idea of let's be positive all the time, right? Let's always look on the bright side of things, or they just don't flat out want to deal with it. Let's bottle it up and shove it down there. Then these are the things that will make us feel like we're disconnected, like we have no power, because we choose not to face life. Okay, these are the ideas that we have to look at. We have to start realizing that, well, hey, if I'd rather not want to feel, if I'd rather not want to face, if I'd rather trick myself into feeling something or making this illusion that there's a positive side, meaning all happy, all good all the time, and there's this negative side that's ooh, bad, boo, and that then we're going to feel that. How can we gain power? How can we gain reclaiming who we are in truth if we are unwilling to face the things that are haunting us? If you don't want to face your anger, if you don't want to face your trauma or your pain and suffering or whatever, you cannot be powerful. You cannot be these things. Okay, and this is something greater than who we are, because believe it or not, folks, there is something greater than who we are. And I'm not talking about a god or goddess or a universe or a source. I'm talking about us. The fact that we don't understand who we are, and the fact of the power and the magnitude of the strength and the ability of the consciousness that we have in truth. But that is why we're here, because to answer the age-old questions, who am I and what else can we be, we have to make sure that we come to a dimension, what we call the third dimension, we call life, and come with our minds wiped and absolutely nothing, and be in such confusion, such chaos, because everything leads us back to I am. And we're going to get into all that in a little bit. But we have to focus on the disconnection. It is a purposeful meaning. There is a reason why we come here without remembering what it's truly like on the other side. And we have many different beliefs over here of what is over there. Some people believe in a God, some people don't. Some people believe that praying works, some people don't. Regardless of whether or not something is true or not, there's only one truth, and that's the other side. Here is nothing but illusions. Here is nothing but walls to make you run into, to find you. It's almost like a maze, like a rat with trying to find the cheese. Can you find the cheese? Can you go through? Can you figure it out? Well, hey, I'm going to try this path. Oh, it's a dead end. Let me try another path. We don't sit there and say, oh my God, I ran into a dead end. What? That's the worst possible thing. If you were actually going, let's say, like, during Samhain time, there's a lot of straw mazes and stuff, and I can't do those, guys, because the last time I did it, I got so claustrophobic because it was a dark maze and it was all straw and I couldn't find my way out, and I almost had a panic attack where I passed out, and that was the last time I ever did it. But if you were in a maze and you were trying to do something, and every dead end that you ran into, you wouldn't fester over it. You wouldn't cry over it and say, oh my God, my life is so horrible. I can't find the way out. I can't find the cheese. I can't find the prize at the end. Oh my God, I can't believe I took that turn. How stupid of me. I should have never made that choice to go that way. You made that choice, you went that way, and now we realize that, oh my God, I don't have to go that way. That's not the way I need to go to get out. You see the difference in perspective? You can either beat yourself up in life and punish yourself for something, or you could look at it and say, well, now I know not to go that way because it's a dead end and that's not the way out. So let me try a new way. This way is not it either. But each time you find a little bit more. And that's the same with regaining your power. That's the same with reclaiming who you are, because that's really what you're trying to do, is reclaim yourself. You want to feel connected to yourself, but you have to be willing to look at things in a different perspective. You have to be willing to change your mind and face and change it to say, hey, you know what? I did this and I did that, and you know what? It didn't work out. It may have caused me some pain. It may have caused me some suffering, or something was done to me that was out of my control. And trust me, guys, I get it. Abuse, hey, right here, I've taken it. So I get it. I get that feeling. But at the same time, you have to face it one way or the other and start edging yourself towards the finished goal. If you want to feel connected to yourself, if you want that power, then you must teach yourself who you are through your experiences, and that's what will get to where you need to go. People look at things like the ideas of polarity and duality. If we want, and a lot of times we mistake it, we talk about things like positive and negative. We think that positive is good, negative is bad, right? We think as right is good, wrong is bad. We think if we're going forward, it's good. If we're going backwards, it's bad, right? Or we're standing still. But again, all illusions. If we want to be able to connect to self, then we have to understand polarity and duality. We have to understand that everything we're experiencing is some form of duality and polarity going through our lives so that we can gain a different perspective, okay? And it may not be fun. It may not be, it may be painful. I totally get it. I really do, guys. It may be painful at times. It may be one of those days where you want to put your head in the oven and call it a day. Trust me, we all have those days. But the way you have to be able to start approaching yourself is say, okay, I'm starting to understand that, yes, there are going to be days where life's just going to take a bat and just smack me over the head with it over and over. And then there's going to be days where the sun is shining. And then there's going to be days where it's raining out and every car seems to splash me with water. And that's just life, rhythm. Remember when we talked in the other shows a couple bit ago about rhythm, about the chakras, about how things go in life? No matter who you are, no matter where we're at, polarity and duality happen. Rhythm has to happen. None of us are free from that. All right, guys, we'll be right back after these messages from I Am Evolution.
The human experience is changing, and consciousness is evolving into something higher than any of us could ever imagine. As we transform into more sentient beings, a new world of connected consciousness is taking place. Welcome to I Am Evolution, the movement in human development that transforms the human experience into a deeper consciousness through perspective and duality. Are you ready to be a part of the next stage in human evolution? Call I Am Evolution today to schedule your appointment at 561-318-0006. That's 561-318-0006. Or email us at iamevolution@protonmail.com.
All right, everybody, we are back. If you are just joining us, we are starting part 2, and we are talking about reclaiming our power, the I Am Evolution movement, right? So, I Am is all about us. It is all about what we're doing. It is all about who we are in truth. And if we are to feel connected to ourselves, if we are to regain this power and this strength and this personal aspect of what we have to do and who we are, what our mission and purpose are here, then we have to look at ourselves. If we don't go through pain and suffering, if we don't go through struggle, then we don't learn. We got to stop playing the victim. We got to stop playing this game of injustice. Oh my God, it's so terrible, injustice. You know, things are going to happen that don't seem fair at the time. That's just the way life works. You know what? I don't know how many times, as a person, as a business owner, as someone who, you know, helps out, does volunteer, I don't know how many times, you know, that happens to me. And yes, sometimes it stings. Sometimes it hurts really bad. But also, you have to look at it and say, you know what, yes, this happened. I can learn from this experience. I can understand. And you're going to get to a point, believe it or not, where things don't bother you as much. Because when you're strong, when you're powerful, when you realize that, hey, I was never lost. I was never not connected to myself. I had it here all the time. I was just choosing to buy into all the illusions of life, the walls, everything that's trying to make me forget. Once I got rid of that, once I took that spiritual shower or whatever shower you want to call it and got all that gunk off of it, all of a sudden I realized that I had it within me all the time. It's not that some people are born with it, some people aren't. Some people are more lost, some people are more confused. I mean, we don't have a manual for life, right? Who has a manual? You think I was born with a manual? You think nobody here is born with a manual for life. But the difference between those who are successful, and I don't mean business-wise, I mean within, is that they're willing to look at themselves and face themselves for who they truly are. And hey, I'm going to be honest, there's times I'm confused. There's times I'm scratching my head and feeling like, yeah, you know what? I don't know if I know it at this point. I don't know if I understand this stuff. I don't know if I'm really getting it. And then all of a sudden I just trust myself because I'm confident in myself. I love myself and I just handle it and things work itself out. And it's in that moment that I realized I don't need a manual. I am the manual. I don't need no schematic or directions or no spirit guides. No offense, guys. You know, but it's within us. It's always within us. And to be able to have that, to be able to access that information, to be able to do that changes our way because I am who I am. I'm not Miss Raina. I just call myself Miss Raina. I'm not these things, these teachers and stuff. I am. And that's what is powerful. I can be anything I want to be because I am. And that's where we carry it through. That's where we carry our individuality. Most people get lost trying to be somebody. I'm somebody because I am. And that's the way. And whether somebody disagrees with me because, oh, well, hey, you don't make millions of dollars and you don't do this and you didn't go to this and you only have, 4 degrees in medicine, not 10. I mean, I don't care about that. I know I'm somebody because I am somebody. I know I am loved because I am loved. I'm not perfect. I'm not these things, but I am powerful because I am. So that doesn't mean I'm going through something. Even right now, before the show, I am dealing with some stuff that is going crazy, and I'm being attacked. Now I could sit there and say, oh, okay, well, I shouldn't have done it, and but I'm not. It bothered me. I got a little angry about it, but then I cooled back down and I said, you know what? You know who you are. You know what you're doing. You know what you need to do. And people are going to judge you. People are going to laugh at you. People are going to, say whatever they want to say about that. But you are who you are, and you know who you are. So be who you are. And once that snapped back in, it was like, boom. It was like, all right, this is a done deal. Because we're human. We're allowed to get emotional. We're allowed to get these things. Look, I get it. Everyone's trying. Everyone's sitting here trying to figure things out. Everyone's trying to figure. It's like a game. You're playing a video game. The very first time you play anything, a sport, swimming, football, basketball, a video game, do you think you're boss on it? Do you think like you're ready to play for the Olympics or a professional team the very first time you shoot a puck or dribble a basketball? No, it takes practice. No matter what you do, it takes practice. Even in school, to become a doctor, to become an artist, to do whatever. You may have a little more talent than some others, but we all have talents in something. And it's like, and life is no different. We're all trying to figure it out. We're all not perfect. We're all trying to go at best, where it's like learning a new game each and every day. And that's the idea that you have to have. You have to be able to say, you know what? I'm not gonna figure it all out, because you know what? We're not meant to. We are not meant to sit there and say, bam, we've got it all. We understand every bit of the universe. When I'm here, I don't even understand every bit of the universe. I am just relaying to you the knowledge that I know when I do connect to the other side, and what is passed on through me, and the stuff that I remember from past lives, and everything that I experienced, everything that I watched, all the people that I helped and watched them go through and everything. That is where the knowledge comes from. And so it's like, and even some new clients, some new people, sometimes I sit there and say, okay, well, I got to figure this out. I got to figure out how to help them. I got to figure out this. And in doing so, I realize that I trust myself because I am that powerful. Every person is a new game. Every time I take on a new client or a new student, it's like doing a new game. I got to figure out those people. I got to figure out myself. I got to figure out the relationship. And no matter where we're at in relationships, friendships, work, school, wherever we're at, we have to figure those ideas out every single time. It's not like we're going to sit there and all of a sudden become knowledgeable overnight. You have to be able to put in the work, people. If you're not able to put in the work, then this is where we're going to be stuck at. I know so many people call me up all the time and write me and even message me on social media, and they say, Miss Raina, I want change. I want to do this. I want to do that. But they're not willing to put in the work. They're not willing to face. Oh, no, you don't understand. That's too tough. I just can't go there. Well, I understand that and I respect that, but I'm sorry. Then this is where you'll stay. And eventually they have to learn to be comfortable with those things that they are afraid, that they are fearful. Because every single person, and I don't care, even you that's watching right now, you are afraid of things in life. We all are. Every single one of us have fear. But it's the idea of whether or not we're going to give into those fears, which takes away that power that we're looking for, or we face it. If I didn't face my issues, the challenges that I had, and I hate to use the word issues, so we'll say always challenges. If I didn't face the challenges that I had from my childhood and my mental health, I wouldn't be able to help you guys. I wouldn't even be able to do the show. How could I help you if I can't help myself? But there's people out there doing it. Why? Because they're trying to find power instead of actually gaining the power, instead of actually becoming who they are and working on themselves, they're trying to mold it from somebody else. This is why we chase trophies. This is why we chase things like sports and fame and money and everything, because we think that if we have these things in life, that hey, I'm going to be somebody. But that's not somebody. It's an illusion. And let me tell you something. You may be happy because you're in a relationship. Finally, you finally found that one. You were miserable before. You may have been miserable and now you're making money and hey, your life is grand. But take away those things. And if you're not truly happy with yourself and the stress and everything just completely gone away, if those things are completely gone, then I applaud you. Then you never needed those things. But 99.9% of us will falter the moment we take away the things that we care about: relationship, friendships, job, money, status, looks, our body, our youth. Because that is what we think power is. That is what we think notoriety is. That is what we think we are. But it's just an illusion. Hey, you know, believe it or not, I know I'm not much to look at now, but, you know, when I was younger, I was a hot dish, you know. And I had a rocking body. I was physically fit. I had a lot of people constantly coming up to me and asking me out and that. And I never felt more alone. I'm overweight now because of the illness that I've had. I'm just still getting, things situated and stuff. Things are going smoother and everything. I'm getting healthier finally. But I love myself more now that nobody wants to date me, now that nobody wants anything from me because I don't have the body anymore and I don't have all the stuff that I had before, and I'm not making the money I was making before, and that like when things were really good before the 2007 crash. And I get it, but I love myself more because I am power now. Before I was finding things, I was rejecting who I was, and I was trying to find myself through other things. And so, yes, I do completely understand. I know why you run. I know why it's the refusal to look at self is prevalent in your mind, and why it's so easy just to give in to, I don't know how many clients that I had that were gung-ho about working on themselves, and the moment they found a mate, man, they dusted me off, and the work that we did like it was no tomorrow. And every day they're like, oh, I'm so happy I found my soulmate. And hey, kudos, great if that, but when that relationship ends, or when that person goes away, and that their life will crumble again because it is not true. And so you must make a choice now. If this is something that you want, I don't even want to use the word power. Why? Because power really isn't true. It's a false idea. There's no such thing as power. It's either you are or you're not. So if you want to be I am, and you want to reclaim who you are in truth, then we need to make that choice. We need to step in and say, you know what? I am going to devote whatever it takes to creating and finding out who I am. Because if you're not willing to put in the work and look at different perspectives and try to see the ideas of other people and other things and other ideas, if you're so stuck on that, then you will live a very sheltered, limited life, full of pain, full of misery, full of suffering. And I promise you that. But I'm not going to say that it's going to be all sunshine and rainbows, even with I am. Hey, like I said, right now, even up until 2 minutes before the show started, I am dealing with something in a community that I'm in right now. And it's crazy. And I got a little emotional because I am very vested in these people and everything like that. And it almost took me away because it's that easy sometimes just to get caught up, and I had to bring myself back. But it's not sunshine and rainbows. It's not always, hey, I'm positive now. I'm always happy. It doesn't work like that. Everybody goes through rhythm. Everybody goes through that. Everybody goes through days where they just want to hide under a rock, and then the other days they're just on fire and nothing can stop them. That is what life is about. Rhythm, balance, perspective. idea. Who am I? What am I doing? What can I see? Am I always I am? In every situation, can you find yourself back to I am? When they say, you get knocked off a horse, are you going to get back up? That's what they mean. Say, hey, life is going to beat you down. Life is going to hurt you. But can you find yourself back? Are you strong enough to say, you know what? I am again. And you know, at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of people that might not like you because of maybe jealousy. Maybe they're jealous that you are finally you. People don't like that. And you know what? That's the choice you're going to have to make. But there are going to be a lot of people that are going to love you because now you're finally you. You're going to attract the people that accept you and be who you are. You're going to find the relationships that truly attract to you because you are you, not because you're trying to be somebody, not because you're trying to look for something, not because you're trying to be the next superstar. Those are our illusions. Those are all illusions. None of it is real except for when you come back to I am. Life has created these roadblocks for you, and you guys must understand that. No matter what you're dealing with, and I'm sure a million things I'm not calling you guys crazy. I'm just me and the mind's running. But no matter what you're dealing with, and I'm sure that you guys have a million things have popped up and triggers of emotions have popped up. But no matter what you're dealing with, these roadblocks are meant to teach you. Are you going to choose you or are you going to choose it? Are you going to choose the illusion or are you going to choose truth? Because, and I'm not pointing to my physical body, I'm pointing to who I am in truth. This is the only truth. None of this is true. This is just all illusion created by our consciousness to make things happen. I mean, think about it. You have wires that can translate data. I mean, what's different from that wire to this wire? I mean, and make all these pretty pictures and sound that travels through it. Why does it happen? Because we make it happen. We tell it to happen. Not because that's how it works. I mean, if you actually stop and think about why computers run and why certain things run, I mean, by logic, okay, why? How can that stuff do that? How can a resistor do this and know this? It doesn't have a brain; it's a piece of wire. But it works because our consciousness creates this world to make things work. And so that's the idea. So you are nothing more right now than the consciousness you're creating. So if you are creating those ideas of roadblocks and distractions and compromise of self, then that is what you're going to find each and every time. This is not spiritual nonsense, people. This is not spirituality. This is not spirituality versus religion. And these are the facts of life. And don't NBC, don't nail me for that. But this is the facts. I mean, I'm not telling you my belief system. I am telling you what I get from over there. The information that I get and I translate through every single day. This is what is translated through. Believe it or not, I was raised in a Catholic school. I was raised that way. I went to Catholic school and I went to church every single day for most of my childhood, or for a good portion of it. So, the information that I'm giving you is the same information that I channel and the same information that's given to me through consciousness by connecting through self. We call it the other side, but it's really inside and all around us. There's no really other side. It's all one. All the different realities, all the different dimensions, all the different things are all one based on the vibrational level of how your consciousness sees it. That's why, Caleb even came to me recently. He's like, Miss Raina, do you know I keep seeing people around in the house? And I'm like, I know, the house is full of people. He's like, no, I just saw a woman there, or I just saw someone standing there. I thought you were, but I only see it for a split second. Well, why is that? Is because our vibration is not being raised to that vibration. So when we're becoming who we are, when we're reclaiming our power, and that not only can we raise our vibration, but raising our vibration allows us to see things that a limited mind doesn't see. It has nothing to do with IQ. What allows me to do and help the people I need to help is raising my vibration, becoming who I am, becoming strong, confident, and loving and caring and understanding. Not perfect, not all knowing, none of that, just strong, confident, and keep fighting every single day. That vibration allows me to see things in the world that a lot of people don't. And the funny thing is, everybody, you have that ability. If you just release those emotions, if you just try to understand, and what I mean by release is not get rid of. What I mean by is release the hold that somebody did something to you, and things are unfair, and I'm going to be angry at this person, and da-da-da-da-da, because I get it, people. I get it, and I even do. Even today, just a little bit ago, I went off. I had a little bit of a rant, and I do that because I need to expel that energy first. So go ahead, blow up, rant, go beat up a Bob if you have it, but rant, get that energy out, and then say, you know what, these things really aren't important to me. These things really aren't. What's important to me is myself and finding love for myself and understanding so that I can go out in the world and be who I truly am. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, the world changes the moment you do that. We'll be right back after these messages from I Am Evolution.
The human experience is changing, and consciousness is evolving into something higher than any of us could ever imagine. As we transform into more sentient beings, a new world of connected consciousness is taking place. Welcome to I Am Evolution, the movement in human development that transforms the human experience into a deeper consciousness through perspective and duality. Are you ready to be a part of the next stage in human evolution? Call I Am Evolution today to schedule your appointment at 561-318-0006. That's 561-318-0006. Or email us at iamevolution@protonmail.com.
All right, everybody, we are back, and I just want to say a quick hi to Luann Miller. Hi, Luann. I appreciate you joining, and that's okay that you're late. I'm glad that you're here, and I do see everything. It just takes me a minute to catch up, but I'm glad you're here, Luann. Thank you. So, guys, look. If we want to figure out this power thing and we want to get rid of our depression, our anxiety, our fear, our feeling of hopelessness, like I said, all these are illusions. They're not real. It's just created by ourselves. Then the first thing that we need to do is reflect on who we are. So what is reflection? I mean, it sounds cliche, right? Hey, reflect on yourself, right? I get it. Reflect on who you are. But what? Like, okay, reflect on me. Okay, well, I'll stand in front of a mirror. I don't know what that means. So let's reflect on who we are. So let's reflect. Look at ourselves for who we are. And I don't mean good versus bad, right versus wrong. Reflect on how you are every day. Reflect on your mood. Reflect on your judgments. Catch yourself when you're judging somebody else or something else. Catch yourself every time that you start to say, well, that's right, that's wrong, this is better, this is worse. Oh, that shouldn't happen. These people should be doing this. Oh, those are bad people. Like even the Russia versus Ukraine thing, and that people are taking sides. Oh, Ukraine, Russia, blah, blah. Putin's bad, Putin's good, but who cares? Get rid of all that. The deal is not with them. The deal is with you. So reflect who you are. Be reflective inside here and inside here. Don't judge yourself by right or wrong, good or bad. Just be. Because let me tell you, we all make mistakes. We all make judgments towards things that we wish we could take back. But all those things make us who we are. And if you can't reflect to look at yourself and say, okay, well, hey, I got a little hostile today and it happened. Okay, so what? You got a little hostile. Did the world end? Did your arm fall off? Did you go blind? Did your hair fall out? Hey, if none of that happened, if your house didn't blow up because you got hostile or because you made a judgment or because you acted out or did something, if that didn't happen, if the important things didn't happen, then it's really not a big deal. Look at how you can see yourself and say, okay, if I want to be closer to who I am, if I want to be strong, if I want to be confident, if I want to be that person, then I need to be able to see myself and reflect and say, okay, today, I had a little bit of an emotional day. Okay, so this is happening. I was down about this. I was beating myself up. And instead of beating yourself up more, start analyzing why you're down. Why am I depressed? Why am I having anxiety? What are these things that have, because we cannot have power if we're afraid of those things. If I'm afraid of my depression, or when I used to be depressed, and you know what's funny is, even though I'm over it, I still have down days. I don't call it depression anymore, but there are still times that I'm down. Why? Because remember, rhythm. Everything in life is a rhythm. So you're going to have high days and you're going to have low days. Everything has to happen because those low days are rest. In those times, man, you should be reflecting. All right, I'm down right now, and that's okay. I'm going to reflect on this. I'm going to look at this. I'm going to try to tackle these issues. Or at least one of them. I'm going to take this head on, and I'm going to ask myself who, what, when, where, why, until I'm blue in the face on this, and it just keeps taking me down to the rabbit hole until I realize what the answer is. And what's going to happen? The moment we start to reflect, we start to see things that we've never seen before. And that's the key to power. That's the key to being who you are. If you want to be strong and confident, people who are strong and confident, and I don't mean fake confident and strong like people in business and people who have money and different things like that. I'm talking about true, strong people. They don't care how much money they have. They don't care what you think of them. And they don't care, if they know who they are. And they don't do it in a mean way. They do it in a very loving, compassionate way. They help people. They're there for people because they realize that being powerful comes with that responsibility of making it to allow other people to have it. I do this show because I want you guys to know all the struggles I went through and how lucky I am at the age I am to have gone through all of that. And I want to pass that on to you guys. I want you guys to be in my shoes so that every day, no matter what you go through, you're like the unstoppable force that meets the immovable objects and just destroys it. Because that's how I feel every day. I knew, and even as scary as it was, and even though there was a couple times I had a couple doubts, I was really close there with the illness that I had. I knew deep down that I was going to make it through because I wasn't done yet. I know that no matter what I did in my life, when I was called stupid because, teachers didn't realize that I had dyslexia and they just thought I was dumb and they gave up on me and they tried to send me to special classes and my grades weren't there. And I don't know how many teachers didn't even bother with me because I was a bad student. It wasn't that I was bad, but then I ended up having a super high IQ. It was just that I had things that they didn't understand. And so I worked through that and I pushed myself through school and I pushed myself through this. I pushed myself through mental health. I pushed myself through every challenge. And that is I am. That is the reflection that you need. That is what we're looking for. Self-love, self-esteem, self-confidence, it all comes with being who you are. That doesn't mean we are who we are every second of the day. So if one day you're super powerful and you can do it and you're knocking it out, hey, kudos to you. And if the next day you're down in the dumps kicking yourself, that is okay. That is part of the process because none of us are on it. And I'm telling you, not even me. Not even me. I'm not even on it all the time. There are times that just sometimes I'm like, all right, guys, I'm done. And then I give up. I let out all that frustration. I let out all that energy. And then I go back to meditating. I go back to self and I say, okay, I let myself be human. I let myself exercise the frustration, the emotion, the depression, whatever it is. And now I'm looking at it again. What can I learn from this? How can I handle this? What is it that I'm going through that I need to figure out how to do this? Okay? Because there are going to be many things. There are going to be many things that I have to build up. There are going to be many things. Power is not something that's attainable. There is no such thing as power. It is an illusion. So stop chasing power. Start chasing yourself. That is the only thing that's truthful. I am me, I am. And whatever you say after I am is you. So every day I say in my head, in my heart, and it's not an affirmation. It's a knowing. I am whatever it is. I am love. I am understanding. I am hard work. But I am me. That is the biggest thing. Because when I was meditating the other day, and if I can even pull this up, but it's when you sit there. When I was meditating, I asked myself, who am I? All the time. Who am I? What else can I be? What are the things that I need to learn? Because I know this stuff now, but what else can I learn? What else can I see? What else can I experience? And I finally got an answer. And one of the things that I've taught this for years, but I never, for some reason, they answered me, or whoever answered me, myself, I guess I would say, myself answered me, because in reality, I am everything and everyone. You and me are the same person, or the same being, the same consciousness, these computers, everything is. But I am the infinite possibility of perspective reflecting through every possible outcome. And that's what we are. We are the infinite possibilities reflecting through every possible outcome. So everything that all of us are experiencing is going back to all of us. And we are connected to that way. So what you're experiencing, I'm experiencing. And that's why for me to grow in power shows me who I am through the perspective of you. So what you're experiencing right now, and when I interact with people and clients and students and friends and families and relationship, they're all teaching us experiences and reflecting through different perspectives. So if you can take away playing the victim of things that have happened to you, and things that are unjust, and things that that are just unfair, and all this stuff going on, and you can learn to look at say, you know what, if I am this infinite possibilities of perspectives reflecting through every possible outcome, then that means that everything that is going on right now is experiencing through me. And if I can look at that and gain the knowledge through their experience, imagine what the world opens up. Because if you can take someone else's experience and eat it and feed your soul the I am in that experience, the world changes for you. And what an amazing world that is. All right, guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. I don't have my book. I don't even know where my thing is anymore. I don't know. Who knows? I used to have my pamphlet here. It gets moved on me all the time. I'm constantly gaming, doing different things, and I would like to have it, but I don't. So anyways, guys, if you'd like to follow us, I hope I can do this. I know I'm going to do it. So if you guys now I'm all doing it, see? If you guys like to follow us on our Facebook at facebook.com/Transcendental Transformation. Our YouTube is the same. Visit us on our website, soulandspiritguide.com. And make sure you sign up for the newsletter so you get VIP access to hidden shows and special guest gifts when we have our guests. Guys, if you guys like the show and you guys want to share it, we'd really appreciate it. The best way we're going to help others and let others know about us and help us grow so that we can get our information out is by you guys. So I'd appreciate the share if you guys like the show. Email me at transcendentaltransformations, that's plural, at gmail.com. And as always, guys, remember to believe in yourself. It's not our abilities or talents that make us who we are, but it is our choices. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.